I'd like to establish protocol. Honorable Joachim Henry, Minister of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment. Mr. George Yearwood, Portfolio Manager, Basic Needs Trust Fund, CDF. Honorable Wayne Girard, Minister of Finance with responsibility for youth economy. Mistress Laverne Lord Greaves, Social Analysis, Basic Needs Trust Fund, CDF. Mr. Francis Springer, Chairman, SSDF, Social Services, St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Mr. John Victorine, Executive Director, St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Ms. Yvonne Agard, Executive Director, St. Lucia Coalition of Services Incorporated. Mr. Brandon Antoine, Deputy Project Manager, SSDF. Mrs. Charmaine Emmanuel, my bad. Director of Social Transformation, Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment. Mrs. Sarah Leor, Budget Analysis, Ministry of Economic Development. St. Lucia Development Board of Directors, Ms. Carol Valse. Psychosocial Development Coordinator, Mr. Peter Lord, Business Development and Support Consultant. Staff of SSDF, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Malana Stephen. I am your chairwoman for this evening. I am also I'll say proudly, the owner of Soul Music by Malana Stephen. I'm also a graduate this evening. So once more, good evening, everybody. All right, so we shall all stand. So we shall sing together the national anthem. And I said together, sons and daughters of St. Lucia, love the land that gave us birth, land of beaches, hills and valleys, fairest isle of all the earth. Wheresoever you may roam, love, oh love, our island home. Thank you. We'll have a prayer right now by Jamal David. Please remain standing for prayer. Whoa, nice catch.
Shall we bow our heads in prayer? Everlasting Father, Creator of the universe, I thank you for bringing all of us here this evening for yet another time together. It's our graduation ceremony today. I pray that all the proceedings of this evening may be a success and everything may go as it should. I pray that you may bless the graduates today, that we may use that skill or whatever we learned in class to the best of our abilities. I pray for everyone here also that you may guide us in our everyday endeavors, bless, guide, and protect us, and continue to give us the unction to function and the mind to do what we are supposed to. Help, guide, and continue to bless us. This message is asked for thanksgiving. For Christ's sake I pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Thank you, Jamal. At this time, we'll have our opening remarks by Ms. Yvonne Agard, Executive Director, St. Lucia Coalition of Services Incorporated.
I wish to adopt the protocol already established. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, proud families, and most importantly, the talented graduates of the Business of Music Training Program good evening. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather here to celebrate the culmination of 2 years of planning, of project planning, and 6 months of hard work, dedication, and passion. It is an honor to stand before you, a group of young individuals who have chosen to embark on a journey in the dynamic and ever-evolving field of music business. First and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the graduates sitting before me. Each and every one of you has demonstrated exceptional commitment and resilience throughout this program. You have not only shown your talent, but also your determination to learn the intricacies of the music industry, from artist management to marketing, from copyright law to digital distribution, and our famous metadata. We did a lot of that. Great, yeah. The music industry is a fascinating and challenging field, one that requires both creativity and business acumen. It is an industry that thrives on innovation, where trends changes rapidly, and success often comes to those who dare to think differently. And that is precisely why your presence here today fills me with hope and excitement. Over the past 6 months, you have acquired invaluable knowledge and skills that will serve as the foundation for future endeavors. You have learned how to navigate the complexities of contract and negotiations, how to market and promote artists effectively, and how to leverage digital platforms to reach wider audiences. But beyond the technical aspects, you have also developed a deep understanding of the power of music, its ability to connect people, to inspire change, and to touch the depths of our soul. And I think that's the basis of FC Krana's work, connecting with people. But let me remind you that this is just the beginning. As you step out into the world of music, in this era of constant disruption and technology advancement, the music industry is more dynamic and competitive than ever before. And I think now we've added AI, to the technology mix, making it even more complicated. But it is also full of opportunities for those who are willing to adapt, innovate, and seize them. I encourage you to stay curious, to keep learning, and to embrace change with open arms. Seek out new trends, explore emerging markets, and never be afraid to challenge the status quo. Moreover, remember the importance of collaboration and building meaningful relationships. And I think the fact that you all have been together for over 6 months, that is almost a given. I see the connection, and I realize that you all have been connecting with each other. And that's very, very important in the music industry. Always, as you move forward, always remember the impact you can have on the lives of your other colleagues, artists, and the industry as a whole. Your work has the power to shape careers, to amplify voices, and to contribute to the cultural fabric of our society. Never lose sight of the profound influence you can exert through your expertise and passion. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to, of course, the Caribbean Development Bank and Laverne especially, the social analyst who've been with us throughout this initiative. She has held our hands, she's been patient with us, and that we have learned a lot through that process of this pilot program. The mentors, I see Peter here. The instructors, I think Cook is online, and some of them may be joining us online. and all of those who supported those graduates throughout the journey. I think our psychosocial consultant is there, and she did a phenomenal job in keeping them on track. I know that for most of you, they were competing priorities, and you had to juggle that program together with some of you, your daily bread. But I think through her guidance, her expert guidance, you were able to navigate that complex training program. To the graduates, I applaud your dedication, your talent, and your unwavering commitment to the business of music. As you step into the world, embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and let your passion for music guide you towards an extraordinary future. Congratulations once again. I wish all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for these beautiful words, Ms. Agard. At this time, we'll call on our we'll have our project background remarks by Ms. Laverne Lord-Greaves, Social Analyst for Caribbean Development Bank.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, young people, a pleasant good evening is wished to you all. I would like to adopt the protocol established before. However, I would like to specifically mention the Honorable Mr. Joachim Henry, the Minister of Equity, Social Justice, and Empowerment. Also, Honorable Mr. Wayne Gerard, Minister in the Ministry of Finance with responsibility for the youth economy. P.S. Charmaine Henry, Director of Social Transformation. Mr. John Victorin, Executive Director of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Mr. Francis Springer, Chairman of the Board of Directors for the SSDF, and Mr. Brandon Antoine, Project Manager of the Basic Needs Trust Fund, SSDF. This evening, I want to take you on a little journey. Yvonne would have indicated 2 years, but by the time you would have ended this journey, you will see how long we have been really working on this intervention. In 2016, the Caribbean Development Bank, through the Basic Needs Trust Fund, embarked on a journey to expand the program options in participating countries to include a robust youth economic empowerment program. The intention was to have an innovative and game-changing program with this focus built on the foundation of existing programs or projects, initiatives within the CDB, the BNTF, locally developed and implemented programs, as well as programs and projects under implementation by other international development partners. To support the design of that approach, the Caribbean Development Bank, through the Basic Needs Trust Fund, requested consultations with possible partners within the bank, the International Development Forum, as well as with the Caribbean-based programs. The output from this was a scoping report of programs and opportunities for youth economic empowerment, documenting experiences, lessons learned, and good practices in youth economic empowerment through entrepreneurship in the Caribbean. Emanating from From these parameters, around which categories of youth were to be engaged, and the types of interventions which would befit each of the various categories of youth who were to be engaged, and the types of interventions which would befit each of the various categories was identified. What activities would suit young persons who were thriving would not necessarily fit young persons who were at risk or in risk of suffering the consequences. Another consideration coming out of the research was that the more at risk or in risk young persons are, the broader the raft of subcomponents that are likely to be needed for interventions. And then also the costlier the overall intervention would likely to be. This work also highlighted the importance of identifying and engaging with key partners, as Yvonne would have alluded to. And these partners would be importantly working in the same space, and that there would be the need to pool their experiences and the resources to target common challenges. In addition, gaps in the youth programming across BNTF participating countries were identified, which allowed the BNTF to find a niche area where they could target its approach to youth economic development. Finally, following this considered approach, key areas were identified which were seen as critical to successful implementation of projects aimed at enhancing youth economic empowerment in the region. Those areas, pooled together, created the BNTF's Youth Empowerment, Economic Empowerment Framework. The same framework utilized to develop the YEETE pilot program, which was implemented in St. Lucia, and for which we are now attending the graduation exercise. Those elements in the framework included the importance of engagement with key stakeholders within the youth development ecosystem, the importance also of strengthening targeting approaches to ensure that you're reaching the right cohort of persons, the importance of focusing on soft skills, also the provision of vocational technical skills certification, also in terms of including entrepreneurship, business management, and financial literacy education. It also includes the provision of mentorship, and that was a key part of this program. Also the provision of seed capital, startup grants for business ventures, providing incremental practice grants as the beneficiaries build entrepreneurial skills, and also providing the latitude for those beneficiaries to take risks. It also extended to coaching and mentorship aspects, ensuring that we had an adequate period for this type of support for vulnerable young persons. And the element that was pulled from the work specifically in St. Lucia was the psychosocial support element that was added to the program. With the YEETE, therefore, you can see the span of the journey we have been on from 2016 to this juncture in time, 2023. Quite a number of years, and it has taken quite a bit of dedication, because in terms of the work that BNTF does, in terms of the work that is done within St. Lucia, this is really very, very important work. And these days, we can't afford to just be guessing. We have to really be a bit more measured in our approach to youth development. There was a lot of learning to do over the period, and I'm happy we had the opportunity to work with St. Lucia. We would have gone to different countries, we would have done an assessment, and out of that assessment, St. Lucia was selected as the country to implement the pilot. The BNTF and the SSDF in St. Lucia would have stepped up to the plate to implement this intervention, although it was outside of their normal programming. I must also say that I'm pleased that we had the opportunity to partner with some really passionate and committed agencies. I think that we have all grown from this shared experience, and we are much better equipped to engage with young persons. Do we agree? We are much better. We're not there yet, but I think we are one step closer. Most of all, I am quite enthused about the young persons. I had the opportunity to meet the young persons in this program, as well as the young persons from the fashion cohort. And I was really impressed by the young persons and their dedication to the program, because it was not an easy road, you know. I want to ask the young people to stand so that persons can see who the graduates are this evening. This is just a cohort of the 25 persons who would have completed the training, right? 25 persons would have gone through the training, but these are just a sample of the persons attending here. Thank you so much. I wish each of you hearty congratulations and wish you every success in your own journey. At BNTF, we are committed to continue to learn and to be in a position to champion the cause of youth development, especially for the most vulnerable. May God bless you all in this sacred work that we do. Thank you so much. I was a netballer.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Greaves. Listening to her speech, I couldn't help but think back on the young woman I was starting off this course. So timid, so shy. Some of y'all wouldn't know that about me. And look at me here tonight. I am hosting or mistress of ceremony at this event. So kudos to this course for what they've helped us with. All right, so at this point, we'll have some brief remarks by Mr. John Victorin, Deputy Executive Director, St. Lucia Social Development Fund, SSDF. Mr. Victorin.
I wish to adopt the protocol already established. One thing that I must correct is the Executive Director of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, not the Deputy Executive Director. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, I'm at another activity which highlights the partnership between the Caribbean Development Bank and the St. Lucia Social Development Fund through the Basic Needs Trust Fund project. Earlier this week, I was at Babonneau at a project where we are moving to retrofit a classroom to accommodate an early or pre-K class. I was also at Masha, where we were looking at the retrofitting of an existing pre-K classroom. And tonight, to mark the culmination of the YEETE project, we are here to celebrate the achievement of the participants of that program. So we at the SSDF profoundly appreciate our partnership with the Caribbean Development Bank through the Basic Needs Trust Fund. Our focus moving forward is to embrace empowerment programs. We have done a combination of support and empowerment programs in the past. We are even more well known for our support initiatives, but we now must place greater focus on the empowerment initiatives. The reality is our social issues have magnified. We are experiencing more violent crime. We are experiencing serious deterioration in the family structure. We are experiencing significant increase in substance abuse. So we must, as the entity with the mandate of improving the quality of life of the most vulnerable in our society, it is our responsibility to embrace an empowerment approach towards programming. We believe that the incremental steps, the activities featured in the programmatic approach will definitely bring forth long-lasting positive change which is required in our society. We really need to take a detour, and we at the SSDF are here to support that detour. And it is not just the SSDF on a Lone Ranger journey, but I must express that we are fully supported by the government of St. Lucia, a government that has reflected an appreciation for social programming, a government that is committed to improving the quality of life of its citizens. So we are, as staff of the organization, we feel that extra drive to work as hard as possible to ensure that the activities of the SSDF are successful at the end of the day. This program was a pilot program, and it appears definitely based on what I heard from Ms. Laverne, that we are one of the preferred partners in St. Lucia of the Caribbean Development Bank, because we were selected out of all the islands to actually implement, to pilot this project. And I must commend the hard work of those who came before me. The minister, present minister seated here, Mr. Joachim Henry, who served as executive director. So Mr. Maffrey, who's not here with us. So all those who served before me must have done something right. That's why the Caribbean Development Bank views us as a preferred partner, the island of St. Lucia. Rest assured, we will not let you down. We are, as we discussed earlier this week, we are looking forward to more support for our people on island, because we are really committed to making a difference. That is what we are focusing on. How can we improve the quality of life of our people? To the participants of the program, I am aware that it is not easy. It is extremely challenging. That journey was not an easy journey. You had a number of interruptions. COVID was a major one that affected the program. And I know commitment can waver. Commitment can waver based on all these disruptions. But you all stayed focused. We are here mainly because of you. Caribbean Development Bank could have provided the resources. The SSDF could have decided, yes, we are going to implement this program. But if we did not have participants who stayed focused and maintained the course, we would not have been there this evening. So I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause. This is by no means the end of the journey. This is by no means the end of the journey. You have experience, and as I tell people, you never fail. Your progress might just be slow, but you don't fail. Once you embrace learning, you can never fail. Every experience presents an opportunity for you to learn. And I'm hoping that the experience here, the experience through this project presented you with an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity that was also presented to us, that has also been presented to us as an institution to grab whatever learning that was there, whatever experience, share it, learn it. It is important that gentlemen and ladies, you all really grab the opportunities of experience to learn. There's no failure. It is just gradual steps towards progress. once you embrace learning. So once again, I must commend you all, the participants, the graduates of the program, and I thank you all, as well as the Caribbean Development Bank, for providing their support to make this initiative a reality. So I thank you all.
Thank you once more for your remarks, Mr. John Victorin, Executive Director, SSDF. At this time, we'll have Mr. George Yearwood, Portfolio Manager, BNTF, Caribbean Development Bank. Oh, sorry, my bad. All right, so that will come in a moment.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and young people, it's a pleasure to greet you and wish you a good evening. Permit me to adopt a protocol that has already been established. It is said that empowerment comes from within, but flourishes when ignited by the belief and support of others. At the heart of the work that we do at the Caribbean Development Bank is the mission to transform lives. The Basic Needs Trust Fund is the bank's most targeted vehicle, geared towards the most vulnerable in pursuit of this goal. Over its 42 years, the BNTF has evolved to better fine-tune its approach and deepen its impact on the lives of beneficiaries under the program. No category of beneficiaries has ignited the passions across participating countries than the cry regarding the welfare of youth. You see it in the choice of programming, you hear it in the concerns coming from the elderly, and you see the lost potential echoing in the blood of slain young people on the pavements in our cities and in the countrysides alike. BNTF's pursuit of understanding how to best reach and empower young people stems from this inherent passion. Out of this passion, you would know that a youth empowerment framework was developed based on sound empirical evidence and experience. St. Lucia's youth are the first to benefit from the sharpened focus in the form of the Youth Economic Empowerment through this enterprise pilot project approved by the bank in 2019. The fact that we are here this evening is a testimony that St. Lucia is a land of abundant potential and a reminder of how crucial it is that we tap into the energy and creativity of young people here to drive economic growth that is inclusive and builds a prosperous future for all. We acknowledge that there are significant complexities we face in treating with young people, but we also acknowledge that great opportunities also lie before us. According to the World Bank, the youth unemployment rate in St. Lucia stood at approximately 34% in 2020. Transitioning out of COVID-19 and its impacts, we know that the plight of many, including that of young persons, has worsened. This staggering figure, however, is a wake-up call for all of us. Our young people, who possess immense talent and potential, are facing significant barriers to accessing meaningful employment opportunities. In the region, there is, in spite of numerous young people benefiting from technical and vocational and skills training activities, some youth who benefit from such opportunities cannot find decent paying work, and others opt out entirely from seeking work or educational opportunities. We at BNTF recognize that it is imperative that we address this issue head on and create an environment that nurtures youth entrepreneurship and innovation, an environment that encourages those who are doing well to stay the course and young people at risk or in risk to step off the blocks, to put down the guns and to soar as they were meant to. One important avenue to tackle youth and unemployment and disengagement is through entrepreneurship. And for this program, it was felt that the creative industries sector was an ideal starting point for engaging young people in St. Lucia. Indeed, the fashion and the music arenas. Establishing one's own business allows individuals to create their own opportunities, contribute to the economy, and become job creators rather than job seekers. In fact, a study conducted by the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, GEM, in the Caribbean region found that entrepreneurial activity among young people in St. Lucia increased by 17% from 2019 to 2020. This demonstrates a growing interest and potential for entrepreneurship among our youth, as well as the increased need for targeted support in that area. How could we provide comprehensive support through business development, psychosocial support, and mentorship for these young people? Furthermore, innovation plays a crucial role in driving economic growth and addressing societal challenges. By fostering a culture of innovation and supporting young innovators, we can unlock the solutions needed to tackle issues such as sustainable development, poverty, crime and violence, climate change, social inequality and exclusion. We hope that by investing along with the government of St. Lucia in this group of young persons, we have been a catalyst towards the transformation of the lives of vulnerable young people. I understand that approximately 25 persons who have completed the online course in the business of music facilitated by the St. Lucia Coalition of Services, and 10 persons would have advanced based on a pitch competition to access the pass-through facility managed for this intervention by the St. Lucia Development Bank. Speaking of innovation, this is the first time that BNTF has provided direct access to funds through a financial intermediary to individual participants who completed training activities and had concretized entrepreneurial ideas. Access to finance is a crucial factor that inhibits youth entrepreneurship in the region and indeed in St. Lucia. Many young entrepreneurs face challenges in securing funding to start or expand their businesses. It is essential that we establish financial mechanisms tailored to the needs of young entrepreneurs, such as youth entrepreneur funds, loan programs, and mentorship initiatives. Organizations like the Caribbean Development Bank, the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, the St. Lucia Development Bank, and government agencies in the ecosystem can play a vital role in facilitating access to finance and supporting young entrepreneurs. We have taken some important steps with the implementation of this pilot project, and we have learned some valuable lessons, which we hope will guide our engagement with young persons in other spaces, and which we also hope will be useful to governments as they too seek to address the needs of youth in their countries. Partnership and collaboration are key to creating an enabling environment for youth employment and empowerment in St. Lucia. The government, private sector, civil society organizations, and educational institutions must continue to work together to develop policies and initiatives that support entrepreneurship and innovation. This approach has proven to be an essential element contributing to this intervention's success. We must thank those agencies in St. Lucia which have partnered with BNTF and the St. Lucia Social Development Fund to implement this pilot project. We will hear more about these agencies as tonight's program progresses. At this juncture, I would also like to thank take the opportunity to congratulate the beneficiaries of the project who are graduating today. I want to urge you to stay the course. Moreover, the bank has established a Future Leaders Network, and we would like to see some of you be part of that network and make your contributions to shaping development in the region. We have witnessed your passion for your craft. I say to you, continue to hone it and continue to present world-class products to the world. Congratulations again on your hard work and accomplishments thus far. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen and young people, the challenges of youth employment and empowerment in St. Lucia are significant, but the potential for growth and development is equally immense. By leveraging data and relevant sources of information, we can understand the depth of the issues faced by young people and take action again, and take targeted action. And let us invest in education, provide access to finance, improve school to work transition, increase ease of access to finance, foster a culture of innovation, and promote collaboration among stakeholders. Together, we can empower our youth, unlock their potential, and build a future where every young person in St. Lucia has the opportunity to thrive. I thank you.
All right, so we're going to change the mood up just a little bit right now. So if you're ready to be transported to a world of positive vibes, infectious beats, and meaningful lyrics, look no further. I want to introduce you to my friend, Essie Crana. Bless up music, bless up vibes. If you hear this slogan, you know who I'm talking about. So Essie, time to do your thing.
Yeah, I can. Good evening, everyone. My name is Essie Crana, and I specialize in blessed up music, blessed up vibes. Just to give you a little background on my slogan, bless up music, bless up vibes. It's simple. I believe as artists, we have a responsibility to the sacred spaces that are people's minds because they trust us. They listen to our words, our thoughts, and our ideas. So we should spread ideas of positivity and upliftment every chance we get. All right, engineer, hit the track for me, please. Yeah. And only one body to make it through. Up it for me, please. Volume. Speed increase, strength increase, stamina extravagant, muscles on fleek, performing past peak, 180, breathing like a champion, I'm so healthy, yo, speed increase, strength increase, stamina extravagant, muscles on fleek, performing past peak, 180, breathing like a champion, I'm so healthy, listen, oh, wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. on the dot and I just equip the clothes, then I touch the road, 3 miles to the beach, only 2 to go eklemwe, rive, voler de glow amweka, nage, lemwe sota glow amweka, marche, vie komwe sorti o, moshi, atwe akaila mwe paka, dormi, chutati manje di belly, hungry, voy de sanko, lapi, if you want the secret just ask me, avocado sour up and aki, and you must always respect the fig tree, ale jade apotak, fig me, eko choja muweka ai, bui, manje samwe sati tooth, speed increase, strength increase, stamina extravagant, muscles on fleek, performing past peak, 180, breathing like a champion, I'm so healthy, yo, speed increase, strength increase, stamina extravagant, muscles on fleek, performing past peak, 180, breathing like a champion, I'm so healthy, hey, boy. Love to meditate, so I do it, hey. That's why my mind is ever fluid. Cultivate my energies and keep them moving, ay. Don't just think about your dream, do it, ay. So calm and zen like a Buddhist. Talk about the meds a lot, but no, I really do this. Reality is conjured from within and I can prove it. Almost like we're in an endless dream, but we're just lucid. Walking on a path I can predict, I manifest it. Attract what I am, and I am so invested in making myself better. Train my body and I test it. An opportunity to grow myself, I am interested. Strength increase, stamina extravagant, muscles on fleek, performing past peak, 180, breathing like a champion, I'm so healthy, yeah. Now if you know you're sitting in the crowd, and you plan to give life everything that you've got, until the day that you leave this earth, I want you to listen to this one, because it's called As Long As I Live. Listen. As long as I live, I promise to give all the energy, musicality, positive vibes and schemes. As long as I live, I promise to give everything I can be, utilizing my talents and all my skills. As long as I live, 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 I promise to give full transparency and humility, keep my feet on the field. Even when pressure's on, even when it's hard to be spiritual, nothing can muddle my vision. Powered by the force of obsession, and I'm a leader with great influence. Have to be conscious of what I display, have to be careful of what's on my mind. I have a duty to keep being inspired. If I ever think I might quit, I just have to override it. Learning to reframe the bad news. Found some tools I can use. If I can do it, you can too. It is a simple thing, breathing deep and close your eyes. Now look deep inside. Imagine you're on a mountaintop. You are the force that can't be stopped. You are the immovable rock. And then open your mouth and scream up high. I will win before I die. As long as I live, I promise to give all the energy, musicality, positive vibes and schemes. As long as I live, I promise to give everything I can be, utilizing my talents and all my skills. As long as I live, 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 I promise to give full transparency and humility, keep my foot on the field. As long as I live, I promise to give everything I positive vibes and skills. Yeah, as long as I live, I promise to give everything I can be, utilizing my talents and all my skills. As long as I live, 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 I promise to give full transparency and humility, keep my feet on the field. Listen, as long as you have life, give thanks. And recognize that life is a precious gift. It's up to you to do something with it. Life is what you make it. Thank you. Bless up music, bless up vibes.
Essie Krana. Of course, so Essie gave us lyrics to be healthy, both physically and mentally. And of course, beautiful words of encouragement to go for what we want as long as we shall live. So give it up one more time for Essie Krana. Thank you so much. At this time, we'll have some brief words by Honorable Joachim Henry, Minister of Equity, Social Justice, and Empowerment.
Good night, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I've heard the protocol, but of course I must acknowledge the Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Affairs, Economic Development, and the Youth Economy, the Honorable Wayne Girard, who is also the parliamentary representative for ancillary canneries. I recognize also the chairman of the board of directors of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, Mr. Francis Springer, the executive director of SSDF, Mr. John Victorin, the director of social transformation in the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, Dr. Emmanuel, who is also our keynote speaker, the deputy project manager, Brandon, other directors of the Ministry of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, my distinguished friend is, of course, you heard him a few minutes ago, Mr. George Yearwood, portfolio manager of BNTF and in the Caribbean Development Bank, Ms. Lovett Greaves, social analyst in the Caribbean Development Bank. Of course, the distinguished young people who are responsible for us being here. All of you, I want to acknowledge and congratulate you, Ms. Valse, and everybody else, distinguished Madam of Ceremonies. This evening certainly is special for me because I've been associated with the Caribbean Development Bank, as Mr. Victorin indicated in a previous life. And of course, listening, maybe for 15 years at PRF and associated with the BNTF, BNTF cycle 5, 6, 8, 9, when we spend so much of our funds building drains and roads, fixing schools, pouring concrete and steel, so to speak. And of course, sometimes when we think of development, a lot of us in St. Lucia think of concrete and steel, buildings, roads, highways, cars and buildings. That is our experience. And when we see these things, we say, wow, the country is developing. But of course, in recent times, the reality has invaded us that notwithstanding our growth in GDP, and if you have been associated with the Poverty Reduction Fund, and if you've been associated with SSDF, and you've paid attention to our country poverty surveys, the three of them, 2005, every 5 years we do one, while our GDP has been growing, irrespective of our difficulties with the economy, poverty in St. Lucia has remained the same for the same period, 25% approximately, over a period of 20 years. I said it in Parliament, and I'm saying it tonight again. It's interesting, why is it that poverty in St. Lucia has not reduced even with the growth of GDP? It means that there is something that we are not doing. So if in a house you have 10 children and all of them are weighing 100 pounds, you've got 1,000 pounds. But if one of them put on weight and start weighing 300 pounds and some of them lose weight, it doesn't mean that the family is doing well. What it means that one child has put on weight, but you have received a growth in the weight of the family. GDP is like this. So even when the country wealth is increasing, it doesn't mean that we as a country are doing well. That is why in this government, this Labour Party administration, the theme of putting people first is not just a saying. It is for us to take on the issue of transforming our economy, transforming what is happening to our people. In other words, we are thinking that if we were responsible and that St. Lucia was a cake, we would want to have ensured that everyone receive a slice. But the fact it has been shared, how do you make the adjustment because the cake has been shared. And you have to get into the system and reallocate the wealth of this country. It means that some people who are not in the business of construction, some people who are not in the business of having a supermarket or not in the business of working into the hotel, you need to find a way to give them a slice of what has already been shared. And therefore, investment in the youth economy and repackaging, and as I say this, I am Mr. George Yearwood, who is now portfolio manager of the BNTF program, used to be the engineer responsible many years ago for constructing roads and approving of our sub-projects. But he has remained and he has learned. And when I listened to him, I said, this man doesn't sound like an engineer again. As he espoused why we are investing in people. And I heard he spoke about the young people and the young people. I said, that's not a civil engineer again. There are times, and as artists you would learn, we have to sing a new song. And we've gotten to this point where we need to change how we operate. And we're not doing it because we are granting you a favor. We're doing it for our own survival. Because if we don't invest in you, we will cease to exist. So you're not here, we are not here today singing praises and telling you feel comfortable because we love you. No, we are investing in our people because if we don't, we know what's going to happen. So investing in this youth economic empowerment through enterprise is consistent with the philosophy of our Prime Minister when he embarked on this notion of the youth economy. What is this about, youth economy? And even when the Prime Minister said youth economy, I know the banana industry and I know the tourism industry and various sectors of our economy that has contributed, but youth, what are we talking about? Of course, even at a time when our demographics are changing, that our population is reducing. I went to a graduation in Bexon. There were about 17 children graduating from Bexon. I said, Miss, I asked the principal, what is this? And she said, well, this is lower than last year. We had 24, this year we have 17. So you could see what is happening to our population if we have fewer people. So even at a time when we have fewer young people, it demands that we invest in you and invest in you even faster and quicker. And we're not asking you like the parents long ago, put you, say, Sao Cafe, Esupati a lot later, you know, go by the road and there's a man there doing some tailoring, put you up on Sapito. We have no time to ask you what you are doing to change what you're doing. We want to know what are you interested in, and we invest in you. And because we know that our young people can make a difference for tomorrow, because you will be the tomorrow. Sadly, we had to come to this realization when we have so many young people. What is left of our young people are dying senselessly. You know, this, you know, with all of the educational system we have and so many persons who have gone to school and, you know, projected what our society will become, apparently we did not capture this important dimension, this important realization. So as you sang and you performed tonight, it hit me that even some of the things our young people did before that we wanted to discourage, today have to become the pill that will save us. And I asked myself, should we have done it a lot earlier? You know. So tonight is a night of realization. Tonight is a night of true confession. Tonight is a night that really takes us to maybe our knees in the confession book, in the confession box, you know, where we speak and say that we should have done this a lot earlier. But the best time is God's time, and God knows why we are here tonight. So I would not pronounce doom on today, because God's time is the best time, and he sets things at the right time. So I really want to thank all of you who have made tonight possible, especially the participants. I have a lot of confidence and belief in you. And like I've said to my own children when they speak to me, this is your world. I don't know what you're telling me. It's just that I will not be there, so I support in you because I know you know your world, I don't know it. You know this world better than we do. You know what is important better than we do. Sometimes we do not say it. We just have to question you and interview you. But we trust that you know where we are going, because you have a good vision of this world better than us. We are aliens. And a lot of us, I don't know tonight why we are seated based on our age group. No, Innsworth, you should be on this side. But the young people took their side, both in terms of what they came here to do, and in terms of all the people who do not belong to this side. I see most of them on that side. I belong on this side, and I have no problem with this. But I'm telling you that as you lead, you know, in your work, I just want you to remain strong as a St. Lucian, as a Caribbean person, as one who must never forget where we are coming from. The Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment believes that we will not take the icing from the cake and give it to the wealthy people of St. Lucians. They too must receive a slice of the cake. But we also believe that if they already have a slice of the cake, it makes no sense to give them another slice, because that would not be social justice nor equity. And therefore, ordinary St. Lucians must understand their role in this development time. Ordinary St. Lucians must understand why is it that we are putting people first, and why is it we speak of this. Ordinary St. Lucians must understand what role they play in the development of St. Lucia and the future of St. Lucia. When emancipation came, and when slaves was no longer, they did not give your forefathers, they did not give your great-grandparents land. They gave it to the church, and they gave it to the former slave masters. We are not starting at the same place where others have started. We are coming from behind. What we have is our dignity and our pride, and we are comfortable that the genius lies in you, ordinary St. Lucians. Do not ever forget that, and do not ever believe that you cannot take us across to the safe harbor. So I trust that you will always believe in yourselves, always believe in us as ordinary St. Lucians. We will continue to strive irrespective of what happens today, because we know there's a better day coming. So as we mourn for all those who have passed, and those who die through the gun violence, and those other young persons who have not understood or have yet to see the light that we can make a difference, your music and your voice tonight will tell them it's time to come back home and to continue the struggle, because there is a better tomorrow awaiting for all of us. Thank you and congratulations on this effort.
Thank you very much for your beautiful words. There was a lot said, a lot heard, a lot grasped. I hope that we all grasped a lot of what was said by the Honorable Joachim Henry. All right, so we're changing things a little bit again. I want to cue two persons, Jarvis and Chris. We'll have two musical presentations now. One, okay. So we'll have Jarvis now, also known as Sawyer.
Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight? I go by the name Sawyer Selassie professionally. I'm very proud of being offered this opportunity as as a young individual who now owns his production and live performance company. And we're about to host our second annual Reggae, Roots, and Dancehall Festival, or showcase, should I say, in August 26th. We'll be soliciting a few sponsorships after our performance. Kick it off, DJ. Yeah, you know, Soya Selassie. And this one is all about love. If you know love, let me hear you say love. Yeah, man, 'cause that's what we need in this time. Too much crime and violence. Okay? There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. For just so loved the world, he gave his only son, and all who had received him became as one. In the Father's house there are many mansions, so check your action. Love, remove the distraction. Too many people poor, living in devastation. What are the children learning? Check the education. Sick them, be nourished, make them healthy and strong. Age protected, no, we can't neglect none. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. He give me sunshine and light in the darkest places. Some still I wonder who the ancient of days is. Conquer Mussolini, free our races, lose the captives, break the bondage. Shall never do we like the Nazi. Shall love the Chinese and the Indian Apache. Defender of the faith for those ones like me. 'Cause there's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. I say you got to know, 'cause there's no love like Jah love. No love like Emperor Selassie love. There's no love like Jah love. No love like Empress Menen love. There's no love like Jah love. No love like Jesus Christ love. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. There's no love like that of Selassie. I see him in every smile. Man, woman, and every child got to know. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night.
That was Sawyer. There's no love. Yeah, man. All right, so at this time, it is my pleasure to bring or to call her Dr. Shamin Emmanuel, Director of Social Transformation, Ministry of Social Development. Yeah, I messed that up too. Mm-hmm. I had to get it right this time.
Good evening, everyone. I beseech of you to allow me to adopt the established protocol. But even before I share with you what I'm mandated to do, I must confess everyone who has spoken before me actually has said everything that I prepared. But since I'm allotted a few minutes, I will as well repeat it. I need to put in a disclaimer too. Regarding music, I am certainly not the best person that you could have selected to share with you or to address you today. I know nothing about music. However, I appreciate good music. Ironic, eh? I cannot sing, but I know when a song is off. I sing one part in church, and that is the also. So I sit at the front bench of the church. I love singing, but don't ask me to do a solo. And even as I listen to our esteemed young person, music does something to the soul. So that tells me that I love music. However, my favorite tunes are gospel, of course. I do not know much about it, like I said, but I love Buju Banton's Unchained Melodies. And right, oh, some people are knowing it. Psalm 23, Voice of Jah and Sila. I know some. Yes, I like these. However, I love calypso. I will ensure that I follow through, especially with the finals, even if I'm a Christian now, minister, don't report me. I follow the calypso because there's that growing curiosity for the creativity in what they put together. So that's about me and music. I acknowledge my limited knowledge and full appreciation of music. But to correct this poor perception I had and my narrow views and perhaps total ignorance about music, Discroll and his colleagues in a recent article stated, and I quote, "Music training offers excellent potential for improving music perception and appreciation for its recipients," end of quote. So having said that, I recognize that I'm really ignorant about the whole concept of music, and I have learned quite a bit for the past 2 hours. In light of this submission by Discroll and his colleagues, I hope your perception, young people, have changed and that you're better able to appreciate that industry and, of course, the time spent over the 8-week intensive training. I have noted the positive slant that the mentioned partners have embarked on. Commendations and thanks and gratitude await you, esteemed partners, but permit me to thank you for recognizing the value of music, especially among our young persons. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, children and young persons often use music to identify and explore their identities and discover how they fit in. They often imitate what musical role models do and say, trying on new roles as their identity develops. Therefore, one can conclude that music allows the youth to express and explore their feelings and emotions. While we recognize the need to express creativity, we urge you to have wise selections on the role models that you will follow, because you would agree with me that there are some lyrics that are definitely not positive. But those that we heard earlier on, I could really dig on it all evening. Positive vibes for the soul. I almost said amen, but what do you say? Bless up? What do you say when you get a good vibe? Bless up? All right. Blessed love? All right. Through the excellent vision and initiatives of the CDB through its Basic Needs Trust Fund and Creative Industries Innovation Fund, the need to embark on a grant allocation towards implementing the St. Lucia Business of Music training program found a high place on their agenda. The execution of the Business of Music Accelerator for young St. Lucians interested in that industry sought to increase awareness and understanding of business practices related to the music industry. Participants, graduates, it is hoped that you have benefited tremendously. Well, it's no longer a hope. I can tell, based on what Ms. Agard said, I could tell that you've benefited. We also noted the need to offer support that focused on self-development. Not only did we want you to enjoy just the practical part, but we want to ensure that you are able and ready. We want to ensure that you are able to manage your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, and interactions with persons. These skills that you learned will certainly enhance your ability to place the knowledge and skills gathered in the proper perspective as you go on living. Research has found that music helps young people safely explore ideas and emotions and express themselves without actually speaking. Think about that. Exposure to positive influences through music can help teens learn coping mechanisms and appropriate responses to stressful situations. That in and of itself is indicating that when we go or appreciate music, the guns will definitely be out of our agenda. Violence and fierce words will be no longer. Given our current crime and antisocial behaviors climate, we as responsible adults and policymakers should take advantage of these funding opportunities. The current situations beckon us to invest more in this industry based on what the research is saying. And it will certainly help you create your own business or even get involved in gaining employment. Also, it will help you overall with dealing with positive changes. A careful read of the training module that guided you highlighted the detailed areas covered throughout the sessions. I congratulate the winners and grantees of the pitch competition. Oh, how I wish I could witness this upon presenting your business plans. Graduates, I am convinced that there has been a change in your general outlook, not just for music, but also your outlook on your working career. In the words of Billy Joel, and I quote, "Music in itself is healing. It's an explosive expression of humanity. It's something we are all touched by, no matter what the culture that we're from. Everyone loves music," end of quote. T.S. Eliot also said, "Key to all that I have shared, you are the music while the music lasts." That's the second thing you need to think about. Therefore, I urge you, make joyful music, make positive music, make happy music, make music of positive change, make triumphant music. How about confident music? Make music to feed your soul. Make music that will make you a better spiritual person. Live in the moment. Live it well. Live in music. Positive music, I say. You are the music. Therefore, choose the tempo. Select the lyrics. Dance on. Sing. And feed your soul to positive vibes. Bless up. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel. And her last words resonated with me. You are the music, right? And I felt that. So at this point, I have to let you all know, since I am the music, I'll unfortunately be leaving at this time. Yes, I'm one of, okay, so I'll tell you why. I am a singer by profession, and I start work at 8:30, and I'm here. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave at this time, but I'll be passing on to Miss Alison Gomez, who will be taking over from here. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with you this evening. I'm getting over my nerves finally. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Bye, y'all.
Okay, good evening, everybody. We now have the presentation of certificates. Presentations will be done between our two ministers, and Ms. Agard, the Executive Director of the Coalition of Services, will assist us.
Like this? Okay. Joanna? Yeah, I guess Milano. Okay.
Distributing the certificates. We will share.
Okay. So we here. So we call on Milano. Stephen? Yeah. Joanna is there? Chris Henry? Huh? Okay, whenever you're ready, no problem. Anasis, Alexander. Blessed love. Livon Silly. Is Livon Silly here? No? Gervais Antoine. Sawyer. Alison, who's there? Alison. Alison. Negotiating. Lara Gustav. Lara. And if you'd note, at the back of your certificate, we've printed all of the modules that you'll have completed. Okay? And the portal is still up, so you know you have the opportunity to continue learning. Kerwin Bowers. Here, Bowers. Alison, who else is there? She not there? No, he's there. I know. Mr. McDowell.
Can you remember me?
See. Huh? Who? Ronnie there? Ronnie not there?
You're missing a certificate.
Where Ronnie?
Certificate.
Where
You didn't
Ronnie?
come.
Ronnie's not there. Who else is there? Who's missing? There's a
Joanna
Alexander.
Alexander, she's there.
Who?
Joanna.
Whoever? Joanna Alexander.
It's in the,
I just saw it there, you know.
you saw it.
Just 1 second, Joanne. There's so okay, it's right here. Put Joanne. Who else is the last person? Yeah? That's the last. What's about him in the
Jamal
with the
David. You call Jamal David?
no? About him.
Jamal David. Go for what you are there.
I saw it there.
Jamal David.
Yeah, he's there. He's the only one left.
Yeah.
Jamal David.
Just call the names of those who have completed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Okay, so quickly I'll go through the other participants, but they aren't here with us today. There's Natasha Louis, Jared Matthew Pollard, Ethan Fletcher, Mohon James, Crystal Nestor, Clint Michel, Cohen Shalry, Diana Ross, Hurtado, Diana Ross, it's really her name, Lavon Seeley, Ronnie Gordon, Sherwin Hippolyte, Camille Charlemagne, Bill Stanislas, Olari Alfred, and Jay Bufia. Thank you very much. I guess you'll take the thing at SSDF. Okay.
Thank you very much. Two of our participants, Ronnie Gordon and Crystal Nestor, are participating in Panorama. They manage the Pantime Orchestra, so they are very busy tonight. That's why they can't be here with us. Okay. Our next activity would have been awards to our key stakeholders. However, we have a little challenge in getting them here, so they would be distributed by tomorrow, God willing. And our key stakeholders in implementing the program would be the St. Lucia Coalition of Services, represented by Ms. Yvonne Agard. We have the Center for Adolescence Renewal Care. Dr. Mason is unable to be here with us today. We have the St. Lucia Development Bank. We know that they are in transition and they are unable to be with us. And the lead, the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, the SSDF. And the St. Lucia Fashion Council, who assisted with the contemporary design and fashion accelerator program. The first cohort we completed in December 2021. Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda would be Mr. Kevin Bowers of P6, who would be singing, let me see the song, would be singing for us. Thanks.
Chair, good evening. If you love Father God, let me see your hands in the air like this. If you love Father God, keep me from the storm. You keep me warm. You keep me focused. Can't thank you enough. If you love Father God, hey! Volume. All right. Give thanks and praise. Me give thanks and praise. Father God, me give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. For the nights and days, Father God, me give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Me give thanks and praise. Father God, me give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. For the nights and days, Father God, me give thanks and praise. Alright, when the wicked them want me turn over, Father God is always over my shoulder. Me praise God, me love Jehovah. He make sure I make up when it's over. Boom. I just want you to know, Father God, I love you. And I will never put no one above you. Thank praise. If you love Father God, let me see your hands in there like this. Thanks and praise, give thanks and praise. For the nights and days, Father God, me give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Me give thanks and praise. Father God, me give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Listen to this verse carefully. I'll preach it on the podium. You are
are my light and my salvation. I'm tuning to you like a radio station. When I'm in you every station, your love is never on a vacation. If they never know, they never let me go. That's why I love you so. Father God, have mercy on my soul. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise, Father God. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Right now we're in the carnival season. Somebody say, hey! I'm going to take you back to 2009 when I was a 20-year-old coming up in the industry. Run it. Hey! Volume.
Me head gone. If anybody try to criticize,
tell them I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
Why?
I don't care. I don't care.
2009. Boom. When you see we chipping and you see we fetting, the time is coming. Head down again. When you see we start a wine, all behind you come no line, and we start to lose me mind. Boom. I don't care.
I don't care.
Why? I don't care. Don't care. You know it's like this. We can say 1, 2, 3, and we don't care. We don't care. Touch our other flag in the air. We don't care. We don't care. Let me see you put it up there. We don't care. We don't care. Touch our other flag in the air. I drink my ones and the twos. Take care of which one you use. I should go wake up to me shoes. But people say I look confused. And another light on the road. And my system on overload. People watch me like a shaman. That's it, shaman. I don't care. I don't care. Why? I don't care. One more wave. Hey! Alright. We don't care. We don't care. Touch our other flag in the air. We don't care. We don't care. Let me see you put it up there. We love you. I'd like to thank everyone who came out tonight. Give yourself a round of applause, everyone.
Okay, let's give our performers a round of applause. Next, we have a testimony by Chris Henry. One of our participants into photography and music. So he will take the spotlight for a few seconds and then we will start his short video.
Good night, everyone. Simimimim. Somebody say what a bombshell. Yeah, big up to Father God first and above all. I'd like to say big up to YEETE. Thanks for the privileges. Thanks for the support that you have given us, youths. As a young youth growing up in Bruceville, Shantytown, I grew up in a lot of crime and violence. And this life wasn't a nice life, you know. So I went into music just to pass my anger, my frustration. They say when you're into music, music brings life, you know, and I went into music to try to get that life, try to get that vibe and energy, you know. That's why every time when Essie Krona say, bless up vibes, bless up energy, you know. Bless up music, bless up vibe, yeah? And I like that vibe because it reminds me of where I came from, you know, and where I am today. Before I meet in the YEETE, I was into Denry segment. But yet still, as I was in Denry segment, I was still engaging in crime and violence because a lot of the music out there, like the young lady said, the lyrics is still engaging the youth in activities, you know, that is not pleasing to especially society. You know, so I grew up in a community that have a lot of crime, a lot of violence, drugs, and I took this opportunity to go in Denry segment just to get myself, out of the crime, the violence and stuff like this. And into doing this, I end up changing my life, giving my life to Jesus. I say thank God for this. And when I looking back, especially this year, I seen so many of my family members, close relatives, they dying, people that I raised up with killing each other. And I would say thank you, God, that I am not part of this, because today I could have been dead. I could have been 6 foot on the ground or in Borderley, as my first cousins are. And I like to thank God for bringing YEETE, for bringing this program, to make us focus, focus on what is positive, not only about ourselves, but for society, for helping the youths. So I went into YEETE with one aim, is to try to get the youths that is in crime and violence to do something positive, to come out of the crime, come out of the violence. Because I remember one of the youths used to say that they want a job, and they can do anything for that job. If you give me $300 to put down a man, I'm doing it. Stuff like that. Because these youths are very serious about what they're saying, and they really want some support, And a lot of them, they're raising up without a father figure. Some of them raising up with a mother, but the mother is always out there. I don't blame the mothers, because we cannot point our fingers on the mothers when they go to sell their bodies, to feed their children. A lot of these come in the minds of the youths, changing the minds of the youths. So as YEETE came into the play, I heard about YEETE on the radio station, and I said, this is a good opportunity for me to come in there and also to get some stuff, equipments and stuff, not only doing this for myself, but especially for the youths, especially in Bruceville. I know the whole island is as crime, violence, but the place where I came from, I really want to do a difference there, So I go into the music. First, I go there to learn. I only knew the part of music I only knew about is performing, singing, writing. These are the only things I knew about the music. But when I came into the YEETE program, I get to know the business side of it. I get to know how serious it is. And it also can give you a livelihood. You can be a mentor as well. I say big up to Mr. Lord. Give us some good mentorship. Miss Allison, and this lady at the back, I forgot her name, sorry. Miss Balsin. Yeah, I like to say big up to SSDF as well, and St. Lucia Development Bank for making this project come to pass. And this young lady right here, Miss Greaves, thank you very much. Today, I am a photographer, I am a videographer, a graphic designer, and an animator. I didn't know much about these things, but yes, I know that YEETE brought the music business, but in music, we also have videos. We also have animation. We have photographing is a part of music, because the artists need posters, they need billboards, posters, and all. So I say, you know what, I'm going to open my mind to this. I'm not going to just go into this just to sing or to write lyrics, but to do videos, animation, graphic designing as well. And so I like to say thank you, YEETE, for making this come to pass. Even if I did not win in the pitch competition, I would still be here tonight and saying big up to YEETE and thank you very much for this program. And I not only wish, but I pray that you guys get better programs, more projects coming, for especially those that haven't tasted that juicy, fruity that YEETE have given us, you know. Yeah. So what I'm doing right now, I even talking to the youth about YEETE, about, you know, I say, guys, there is an other program. I'm sure there is an other program coming, and I would like you guys to get involved in it as well. So I like to say, to big up to YEETE, thank you very much. Thank you, SSDF. Thank you to the participants. You know, thank you to my wife. And honestly, it was really tough. Because ask my wife, sometimes I say, you see, me, I'm not going in that again. I give up, you know. But she really gave me the push to continue and to do it. I like to say thank you very much for everybody that is there, that came here, even those that wasn't there. Thank you, big up. God bless. My name is Chris Henry. I'm the owner of Fire Records. What interested me to join the YEETE program is, first of all, I love music. And I was willing to get deeper into knowing more about the music. When I find myself in the program, I get to register my studio, Fire Records. I get to enhance in everything I have, the equipments, new equipments and stuff. This brought my studio to a next level. I also learned a lot in the music business industry, because a lot of us artists, we only know about the singing, the performing and stuff. But on the business side of it, a lot of us get ourselves stuck. That's why a lot of us find ourselves in a lot of problems with contracts, performance contracts, and all this stuff. So YEETE is a program that helped me a lot throughout those things. And indeed, when I went through the program, indeed I learned a lot about the music. I get to know how to work with my business plans, work with my proposals better. And right now, today, I can say that I can work with a business plan. I can say that I am an owner, not just an owner of Fire Records, but I can represent anywhere I go. I was not a photographer. Right now, I'm a photographer through the YEETE program. I was not a videographer. Right now, I am a videographer through the YEETE program. Also about the animation, I knew the basic stuff of the animation part of the music industry. And right now, I can say that I am advanced in animation also through the YEETE program. In the future, I see myself not just a business owner, but also a teacher, because whatever I learn, I intend to teach from this also. In the videography, photography, animation, you know, I'm willing to help to give back into society, especially for the youths that are out there, youths that have no jobs, struggles in the future. You know, I'm willing to help. And this is one thing I learned about the YEETE program. They help me so I can help others. The advice I'll give to the youths out there is just be humble. Humble, when you're humble, it takes you far. And always willing to learn. We're never too old to learn. Every day we learn something new. And when programs like this come along, you just have to grab onto it, because it teaches us and it also keeps us out of trouble. Nowadays, you hear a lot of youths in crime, violence, you know. So when these programs come along, we intend to take hold of these programs to keep us out of trouble. It helped me a lot, and I advise you youths out there, when these programs comes along, take hold of it.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. I was down to deliver the closing remarks. So we are at the end of our exercise, right, Ms. Agard? Protocol already been established. I will highlight the main findings, not findings, or the main messages from the presentations delivered earlier, okay? And it is for all of us, but especially for our graduates. We are asked to remain positive, continue impacting on our lives, our communities, our families, through the music that we produce. Like Mrs. Emmanuel said, positive music, happy music, uplifting music, which fits very well into the SSDF's mission of uplifting people and transforming communities. Partnership was explained. There was evidence in partnership, collaboration, and networking from the establishment, our workings over the years for the development of this program. And you are encouraged because you see the benefits from partnering. There's great success in the collaboration. Remaining current and innovative in the culture, in the creative industry. That's what you do. You are innovative and you are creative. So you just continue remaining current and put in the knowledge you have, your ideas, to good use. Your passion and dedication must be reflected in what you do if you are to achieve your goals. Continuous learning for your self-development and empowerment if you are to advance your enterprise. Giving back to community through the music that you create, the way you live your lives, and your involvement in community. These are some of what I picked up from the presentations. Before we close, I would like to recognize our partners. We made mention of all of them earlier, but from me as the coordinator, it was a pleasure working with the partners under this program. So I learned a lot, like Ms. Groove said, we all learned a lot. I have grown. It was not only the growth of the participants in the program, but as an employee of the SSDF, it was a new initiative and I did grow too. So I would like to thank, on behalf of SSDF and everybody who worked on the program, the St. Lucia Coalition of Services, through Ms. Agard, the St. Lucia Fashion Council, represented by Ms. Claudia Baptist, correct? Yes. CARE, Dr. Mason, who is represented by Melina Cox, who did our life skills enterprise training. Who else do we have? That's it. St. Lucia Development Bank, who is unable to be here. And especially Ms. Lovan Luad-Greaves, who held our hands, who supported us, who was very patient, who was very kind in some of, of the decisions that were taken for participants. I would like you to stand up. We can give you a round of applause. The mastermind, the everything behind the program, our support. Thank you. We have the Ministry of Equity, who continues to support us. The Ministry of Economic Development, who has always been there with us through Sarah Leo. And this is a reflection of the government of St. Lucia and their efforts to make a difference in the lives of our young people, our communities, our people. So today, and the SSDF staff, support by my management team and the staff of the SSDF. I did get some support, and I would like to say thank you. Graduates of the YEETE pilot project, Music Accelerator, you are encouraged to continue working hard in your enterprise through planning, good planning, training, networking, and remaining committed to your goals through hard work. Okay, so once again, congratulations to you graduates. All the best in your future endeavors. And I would like to say that the ceremony has come to an end. Thank you.